There, sorry, recording. All right. So this is supply and demand. We can start by going. Did you understand like the whole basing candles and like did you understand
Yes,
that the basing candles, or you want me to just go
yes,
over like a quick little glance just so you could?
yeah. That'll be great. Yeah, so we can have it in
Okay.
there.
So basing candles are either these type of candles right here. Doji candles. So that's one of them. Let me mark them right here just so I could make it easy for you. So basing candles are doji, doji candles, gravestone candles. What is the other one called? Dragonfly, I guess. I always forget the names of them.
Yeah, hanging man.
Hammers,
Yeah,
shooting, shooting stars.
stars.
So
Yeah,
all these are considered basic candles, but this doesn't really look like a basic candle to you, right? Like it doesn't look like the ones that I explained, right? You know.
yeah.
So I actually do make them like this. You see this little candle right here, the little body. So usually basically, you can also put them like this. Also could be little body candles next
That's what
to,
we're for the most part looking for, right?
yeah,
Small body candles with large wicks to the upside or to the downside.
yeah. So I'm gonna just put it right here. Also could be little body candles next to two big candles. I was gonna put dildo candles, but two big candles. Always has to be always has to be two continuation. Wait, damn, I always forget candles. You understand this, right? The two continuation candles, the two big candles, basically. Okay.
So
Um.
basically, it doesn't need to be one flush to the downside. It needs to be like maybe a starting, like a startup, no?
So it has to be something like Let me find you a zone.
Uh,
Basically, something like this, right? You want to see that? You see this candle right here, one that I'm pointing at. Let me see.
yeah,
This one right here.
yeah.
Okay, so this is a basic candle. And then you got this candle, big candle, right? Another big candle, or just basically a whole movement upside, right? A whole market structural shift. You got market structural shift right here, market structural shift right here, right? So these are always like the things that you want to look at, right? Another thing you could have is I could delete all this. It's recording
Yeah,
anyway. Okay.
yeah, it's recorded anyway.
All right. So another thing that you can also look for is areas where trend changes. Are areas where trend changes. So like just like we're talking about, you see how right here we're kind of downtrending, right? We broke the structure. Maybe right here you had a microstructure shift, right? We're and this is like a mini microstructure shift, right? We we didn't hold this pullback, like buyers didn't hold this pullback and didn't continue to move, right? They ended up getting broken. So after it got broken, it ended up being right here, right? So this is already kind of like a little small, little kind of downtrend, right? And then at the end, it just pops, right? It just pops. It takes over the first pullback of the bears basically, and then it took the actual, the high. So that's another thing.
So
Yeah.
to get it right, market structure shift. Can you go back to the right, bottom acá on the third three?
Hmm.
This three right there, right there.
Yeah.
That the one on the más para to right. You're right. The green one, the green three.
This
Pa
one.
acá, to your right.
Oh, this one right
Más
here.
para abajo. No, más para abajo.
This
Over
one.
here. That one right there.
Okay.
Right? So you're seeing that the purple line is the market structure shift, correct?
Just from this downtrend right here. From this downtrend.
Okay. So I was thinking this
So basically like this,
two.
like my bad, hold on.
Hold
So
on.
just look at it like that, right? Ignore the other part. So this is what it
Yeah.
is. Like this would have been my. So I would have told everybody in the chat if 5076.75 gets broken, I'll start looking into shorts now, because that's when we'll get a market structure shift.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So I
then
was. I was.
uh-huh.
Uh huh.
Go ahead.
So I was thinking market structure shift to the upside now if it went above this 212 above the ese
This yeah,
I think
exactly right there.
no más para abajo más
This
allí
one.
that above those wicks, would that be another market structure shift to
Um
the upside?
yeah, it actually could be. Yeah, honestly, it is like that. Just cause it's cause so right now I'm actually looking at the 6 hour time frame. But yeah, it actually could be on a smaller time frame, maybe on the hourly. Yeah, this will actually show you. So the best times to look for a market structure shift is always the 4 hour or the hourly. Those are always like the best ones. And then obviously if you're a scalper, 15 minute, 5 minute, and then if you want to be dangerous, the 1 minute, the 2 minute, right?
Yeah.
But me, since I'm I trade supply and demand, I like using the 1 hour and the 4 hour just to give me a, a good market structural shift, right? You could use the 15 minute at times. So what I do is, how do I say this? So sometimes I really don't like trading the 15 minute zones or the 5 minute zones. But let's say when we're just trending up, like a lockout rally. So basically like so something like this, right? This is a lockout rally. You see we know we never pull back. We pull
Yeah.
back just on a smaller time frame. So yeah, that's the only time where I'll actually go on the 15 minute and the 5 minute zones and trade them. But other than that,
No,
like uh huh,
and the main reason why you do that is because you don't want to be putting your stop loss way in the way to the previous. If you're looking at the 6 hour, you don't want to put it. Say for example, you're looking at that third two, right?
yeah,
To continuation to the upside. You don't want to use the previous candle that's like a 30-point move
yeah,
as your.
exactly,
That's
yeah,
why you jump to the 15 to make it a shorter stop loss, right?
yeah. That and just to be with just continue being with the trend. Since we're just trending up. This basically so this is always called a lockout rally when we don't pull back. When we don't pull back like this, right? This is a pullback. Where we pull back and we come down a little bit and then we pop back up, right? That's 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 like a, how do I say, more healthier market. But this one right here is just lockout rally. It just wants to stop everybody out. Like it just wants to grab liquidity
Ah,
from everybody. So it just grabs liquidity, from it grab liquidity from this people that had their shorts right here. The stop loss at 50.91. Another one at 51.22, and then the biggest one, 51.29. And did I have anything on the side? I think that was the all-time high at that time. And it just
yeah,
kept continuing because there was nothing no more, so it just price discovery, just pushing it up until basically, the big dealers and all that, they hit their price magnificent thing.
for sure. Yeah, I understand that concept. Yeah, because it's like us. It's like me and you. We're looking left to see the story, right? And where you put those two purple lines,
Hmm.
that's where I'd be looking at to put my stop loss. And that's exactly what you were saying. You look
Yeah,
at those areas to put a stop loss, and what did it do? It just did the lockout rally where it just blew past those
yeah,
stop loss
exactly.
and try to hunt for the liquidity zones,
I mean,
basically.
maybe on the 15 minute, maybe we could see a little struggle, maybe a inside bar, after we pop it inside bar, grab more liquidity, right? Because what you could do, like, let me show you how liquidity kind of works. Okay, so right here, right? So yeah, like you see right here, we actually did have, you know, so this is what I mean by 15 minute zones, like that. That's a 15 minute zone. That's where I would have actually, I think I actually even took this. Yeah, I took this long as actually. Yeah, early in the
And
morning
you're
because this is the one that I took on SPX, and I ended up aiming for just this pop right here. I just wanted I took the 15-minute to rev, so it was right here. Shit.
bro, I give you props, bro.
So like
If
that.
you'd be if it came down to that demand zone and you jumped into that trade, to me it would have everything would have just gone over my head and been like, no, we're just dropping after that.
So you see right here, um, so that's also another thing that you could look at. I think this is actually no, this wasn't new. This is actually the open. So the open, we took out buyers. You see that we took out buyers right here. This is a market structure shift. So this is like the small market structure shift, but this is what I'm telling you. Since I'm more of a supply and demand, I'm always looking at the 1 hour or the 4 hour. If those gives me a market structure shift, then that's when I'll start looking into counter trending, right? But on a 15-minute, I just see them as liquidity sweeps, right? You want to look at it more like that, you know, put it like that. Buy stop liquidity, right? Because they have other people that took longs, they had their the stop losses at this level right here at 51.19. We ended up not knowing that there's a zone right here, a 15-minute zone right here, and
Yeah.
yeah, you could have taken it on the 5 minute. Like, let me see. Fucking hate when this shit. Like, you see the 5 minute. I'm trying to learn how to trade more like the 5 minute with my zones, but I've been liking how I've been doing it lately, so that's the reason why I haven't like switched it up yet. But this is how you could trade the 5 minute. We take this market structure shift, right? And yes, we close, but look, right when we touch the zone, we come back towards the area where we took liquidity, right? So that's already a good sign. And then if we get a 2 to rev, that's already another entry. And if I would enter the 5 minute, I would have grabbed another 6 points, right? So I'm just learning, especially because it was early in the morning, like the first 15 minutes, the first 15 minute
Session.
of the session. That's probably why I didn't take it long. I didn't take
Mm,
it that long, like heavy and aggressively.
yeah. Yeah, nah, for me it's yeah, I need to, just be more proactive. I think being more I know that, maybe, having a paper
Paper account.
paper account
Hmm.
eliminates the emotion,
Yeah.
so, because I've tried it before and I'm like, oh, I feel invincible, trading it. But
Yeah.
once you switch over to the real life account, it's,
It's way
okay,
different.
emotions are there and you're all over the place. So it's just and
Um.
for me, it's just holding these plays, man, because I know they play out, but I just
Yeah, I feel like you just since you're barely learning supply and demand, or getting, I guess, to learn more the strat. That's probably why you're not holding as long. Other traders, I think more you have to understand market structure shift. I think that's one thing that helped me also hold longer. So let's go over that. Let's actually go over that first, and then we'll go over the zones, just because I want you to understand it really. So
yeah,
right here, you know how I told you I look at the hourly and the 4 hour. So
yeah.
I first go on the 4 hours, right? And do I have any text I have to delete? No. Okay. Oh, I deleted everything. All right. So for in order to see how the trend is, I go on the 4 hour and the 1 hour to see market structure, right? So I see that, and then how I see my pullbacks and everything is every time we literally drop and then we get bought up again, right? And we end up breaking, the highs. So what you always want to see is So this is our market structure. Like this is a market structure right here. Let me get the where's the thing? Give me a second. Give me get the thing. Okay, there you go. Take this off. All right. So let me see where I could start at. All right. So this is already we already got over. We went over this little area right here for the market structure. So let's just start fresh.
Yeah.
We're gonna start fresh. From right here. So on a higher time frame, this tells me right here. After all this noise goes down. Shit. So the first, this whole thing is a downturn, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
so the first one, this we first want to hold this one. The reason why, I mean, you could kind of put it right here, but I want to be more clear. I want to be more clear. I want to see more clearness, right? And the reason why I'm putting this level as the level that I would start switching my bias for longs and shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put it right here. Is so let me show you this. Let me go back on this. There. So we come down, we come up. This is the first pullback, right?
Mm-hmm.
And notice how we break. Oh, shit. Notice how we break this level right here, right here.
Mm-hmm.
So once we broke it, we came towards this. This is the new low, right? We
Mm-hmm.
we come up, we make a new low, right? We make a new low, and notice how we continue. We break this, right? We break the first pullback. So that would have been my first market structure shift. But notice that right away, we dump back and we actually make a new low. So we continue so we just grabbed liquidity basically. That's all we did.
Mm-hmm.
They grabbed
Yeah.
liquidity and then they
Mm-hmm.
still made a new low. So they made a new low. This is the next pullback, anything around this area, and then we make a new low until right here. And then obviously this candle alone it breaks this one, and then it breaks this one. And then it doesn't break this one yet, but just these two already will show me a market shift. Right? So you get like the gist of it.
Yeah. 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 So basically, if you're in a downtrend, you're looking for lower lows and lower highs,
Yeah.
for the most part. And then when you're looking for a market structure shift, you're looking for the lower lows to break
Hmm.
and create a higher low.
There you
And
go.
then we're looking for areas where it goes from higher low to higher highs.
Yeah. There you go. So once we broke this structure, we broke this structure right here. This actually can be considered a pullback. Obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
we did pull back. But then
Mm-hmm.
notice how we break this one. We break this new structure, right? We break the
Mm-hmm.
new digestion of the market structure shit. So we break it and then we pull back, right? We pull back.
Yep.
Notice how we never even broke this candle right here, right? But this is always going to be the first pullback. This is the first pullback, and then we break it, and then since it was a 3 bar, it did it with the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It just continue up, it continue. It ended up breaking this one right here, and then this is the last pullback. This is the last pullback right here. We made a new high, but then this is where we had a market structure shift. We broke this low, this pullback right here, and we also broke this pullback. And then look where we ended up at. We ended up even breaking this pullback right here, right? But then we come back up. This is the pullback right here.
That's
Boom.
where they were looking for liquidity to take the price
Yeah,
action higher, no?
yeah, exactly. So then we come down to right here, and then just this alone, it breaks this, pull back to this, back down. This is always the markets that you're trying to see. These are
Mhm.
always easier. But when we just do lockout rallies, like we just keep going up, 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 up. I don't like it, bro. Like it just
Or
puts
just
my
down.
trading. Yeah, it just puts my trading differently.
Mhm.
So we come right here, the pullback. We ended up breaking the high with just one candle, and then we just continue trend. But you understand does this make it clear
Yeah.
for you?
Mhm.
All right, so you could tell right here. So so the first, we had a market structure shift right here, right? Because this was, we come
to the
up,
down.
this is the first pullback. We come towards, we just go back up, and then I guess mm, yeah, I would just say this is the pullback right here. This is the last pullback, and then because we ended up breaking the high, right? We ended up breaking
Hmm.
this high right
So
here.
for that one, that
Hmm.
three candle, that red three candle,
Yeah,
as you were seeing, for market structure shift, you're looking for your the candle that's in session to close below that two candle where you put that purple line, that one to break the structure shift, right?
yeah. So what would have actually changed my mind on it is if we would have got a 2-2 red right away. So if we would have gotten a 2-2 red right here and continue the trend down. So if we would have
Mm-hmm.
just done this and then got a 2-2 red right away with a big push, that would have told me that it was just this, it was just a buy stop liquidity. That's all it was. But since it wasn't, we the next candle after the first, the three candle, it went down. The one after that one, it just dropped another low, right? It made a new low just to show that that sellers are in the way, and then that's when it pulls back, right? We come down to right here, and then we come up, right? We come up, but notice how we break it, right? We end up breaking the same candle with a three candle to right here.
Mm-hmm.
So then that's what gives me the market structure, and then we take the first pullback, but that was just a liquidity sweep.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at this, it was a 2-1-2, and then we ended up 2-1-2 right there. Damn, I hate how it doesn't change colors or nothing.
And to enter the breakout of that 212 continuation to the upside, right?
Yeah, you could have taken, like, strat traders could have taken this just by looking at this market structure shift, right? They could have taken this, just by looking at literally that, like, a simple, pullback and everything. So they could have taken this 2-1-2 and then just wrote it down, right? And first price target would have been 12 points, right? It would have been 12 points, and then after that, it would have been
I know.
fucking 28 points. Yeah, they want to hold it.
You were talking about this last three red candle,
Hmm.
about the 3-2 reversal. It was a 3-2 reversal, no?
This one,
No, the other one,
this one.
the that one, yeah.
Yeah,
You know how you
since
were talking about if you were to have seen that three
this one.
two reversal. Yeah, that's a two
Oh
reversal,
yeah,
right?
this is a three rev. This is a two rev. This is a two rev. But what I meant is this one, like it would have broken like
Oh,
up.
continue to the upside.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if we would
above
have
that.
just yeah, basically like if we would have just done the buy stop liquidity right here. Let me show you. We would have just done the buy stop liquidity, but then still hold it. Buyers should have basically popped it above here. Should have basically
Ah,
popped it above here, and then that's when you could have, and then obviously taking first this level right here. The reason why I say this level is because this whole thing is a fair value gap, right?
you're right again. Yeah.
So since it's a fair value gap, so you always want to see. This is how I always see too. Like I always want to see the fair value gaps get inverted,
Still.
basically. So like this. I don't trade ICT like that no more. I I hardly do, but when I do, I just like. So what I do like about ICT is that what he says, bro, is like it just helps you out, just looking at the trend and everything. So
Yeah.
this is the reason why I didn't start looking into longs yet, bro. Is because look at this, like we never got a true reversal and actually broken at least this candle, right? This 52.39, and we just like, yeah, we came up to the fair value gap,
Yeah.
but we it actually respected it.
Yeah.
It
That
actually
that would
respected
have been to me, that would have been okay, like a red flag. Okay. If we're not gonna be continuing to the upside because we didn't break that
the fair value gap.
previous, yeah,
Yeah.
that pierced into it, or that two rev,
Hmm.
because we didn't break above it and we held below it. To me, that would have been like, okay, we're still,
Downtrending.
bidders are still, yeah, in control.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, you understand that. That's a good thing. You understand that. That should help you at least. So this also like market structure shift is also is like a mini FTFC, right? You could think about it that way because FTFC works. Like you could look at it all the time, but you mainly want to look at market structure. You know how it always like if there's a shift or it just keeps continuing. That's always the one main thing that you want to look at besides FTFC. As much as
Mm.
FTC could help you out. I mean, it's good to always know. Don't get me wrong. I always do my every when we have a new month, a new week, and all that. I'm always checking that. But
So you don't check it every day?
nah, not really every day. Just cause well, that's why I check it like the week before, and then that's why I have the levels of the weekly. So once I know the weekly is like already in, I just look at the daily. But my main thing is because I'm a supply and demand trader as well. Like I'm more I'm more of a supply and demand trader, but I use the strat, as my entries. That's what I use it for. But
Mm.
that's what I use the strat for my entries. Because
Yeah,
FTFC,
yeah.
like I said, I could use FTFC all the time, but I see FTFC will keep me away from a lot of zones and everything.
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, for me, and yeah, I would think that that's something you'd incorporate into your like your rules to look at it before you go into every trade. But like you say, you only want to look at it at the higher time frames,
Hmm.
which would be the 4 hour and above, right?
Yeah.
Because then that'll just allow you to just like, hey, you know what? Every like you were saying, every week, every month, and every 3 months, just to be able to know that hey, we're in that same direction. And
So,
remind me
uh-huh.
uh,
Go ahead.
and remind me again, just in case one of those three time frames is not coinciding with the rest, what do you do?
I look at market structure shift. That's what I look at. Market structure.
Uh,
That's when I fully focus on market structure. Just because
okay.
that would tell me that it's sitting, even though it's sitting inside, or it's different. Like let's say maybe the weekly is red but everything else is green.
Hmm.
It's telling me that it's looking for an area to grab liquidity, right? Or an IRL or a zone. So I always look for I don't really look at IRLs anymore. I just look at zones because I've seen more consistency, and been winning, like just using supply and demand. So, I just look for zones like that, like a supply and demand, and that's when I start using it with, FTSC. So when I'm in, let's say I'm in zones, right? Like I'm going to a demand zone, and so right now, like right now I actually missed my entry for a demand zone, and the way it was this one. Shit, this whole thing right here. These type of zones are a little different than how I normally like wanted to show you, but
Yeah, because you never use the top wicks, right?
yeah, I don't use the top wicks, or you notice how how do I explain this? How I always tell you that I always want to see the basing candle and then two candles pops.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with this type of way of drawing zones, it's a little more risky, but then that's where I have my rules, and I'll go over that more. But this is what I mean, like, so FTFC, obviously the weekly is still inside, but you want to look at it. 3 month is sitting green, right? It's bullish.
Mhm.
Monthly is bullish. Weekly is bullish. Daily is still obviously it's still red until we
Mhm.
get to, oh shit, I have the magnet off. But until we get to 5214, it'll turn green, right? So
Mhm.
just like the question you asked me, right? When it's not the same, right? Everything else is bullish except for the daily now, right? The daily is a little red, but that's when I start looking at market structural shift, right? We never we never had a pullback. The first pullback was obviously right here, right? So
Yeah.
so this is my first pullback, and then notice how yes, we dumped a little bit, we dumped a little bit. But look at that. We there was no pullback in this, right? We never pulled back. We never pulled back until this, and then this became the this now this becomes the first pullback. This one. If we push
Yeah.
above it and we take this up, once we take that, we only end up taking this. But my entry was supposed to be this fucking hammer candle. That also gives me more conviction. This hourly hammer off a zone. But just looking at that, like this is where I told you that FTFC I don't use it all the time, just because you see discrepancies like this.
Yeah, because yeah, exactly. Ah, now I know what you mean because then it'll be like, oh, should I take it on the,
Yeah,
1 hour
exactly. There you go. I'll start
screen?
second guessing it, right? I'll start second guessing it, and then let's
Yeah.
say let's say once it starts working, again, this is where the emotions will come, and I'll be like, fuck, I should. Maybe if I get in right now, I could still have a chance, and like I said, the stock market is not always predictable. It could just reverse to me, and then I'll probably start chasing downside just because I'll revenge trade. So that's the reason why
Mm,
I don't always look at FTSE, and then I mainly look at market structure. Market structure is number one to me.
okay, okay. Yeah, that it's a bit more clear now using, these basing candles and where you're actually taking these trades because if you'd be taking a basing candle in the middle of a big ass red candle, you're looking to potentially take the reversal, but maybe it just might be a little breather to
Yeah,
continue to the downside.
yeah, exactly. There you go. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
everything else is getting clear to you more a little bit.
yeah, 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 it
Yeah.
definitely is.
Okay.
And then of course, I like it now that it's being recorded because if it's not, I can be like, oh, what were we talking about then?
Yeah.
Now I can go back to these videos and be like, oh, okay, this is what he was talking about.
Yeah. So I'm glad this is the only reason why I wasn't recording before is because I didn't have the PC to do it. I mean, I was able to do it earlier, but it was more
Yeah.
it would lag
No,
my old PC.
all good, brother, all good.
So so now let's go over how I make my zones, right? I make my zones just like this. So I start on the 12 hour. I don't really like going on the daily no more because the daily those zones are way too huge. So
How did you come up with the 12-hour?
it's half of the day.
Okay.
It's just half of the day. So this will be one of my zones right here. Now this is where I could put the magnet just because I want to be exactly. And then remember, I don't use the top wick of. I'm just showing you first the more safer zones, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So
So right now I'm just showing you how do I say let me see like safe safer zones basically. So my safer zones, this is how I draw them. So you see right here, this is the basing candle right here, the
mm-hmm.
basing candle, and then obviously as a strat, this is the Nirvana right here, right? 1 3, and then a 2, but that's that's another thing. Let's just
Yeah.
go. All right, let's go over. This is my basic candle right here, and then since this is my demand zone, I'm not gonna draw the top of it, the top of this wick. I'm gonna draw the body, I'm gonna draw the body, and then the lower of it. But I could just draw the whole thing. I'm gonna just draw the whole thing literally. So even the
Okay.
low of it, just the low of it, just to catch, just to be on the safe side. But you know, I know a lot of traders they would just draw it like this, and then if this gets broken, for sure, we'll end up touching this side. But I like to be more on the safer side, so I would just do this just like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I get the whole mentality wise because if it drops below that last wick on under your demand zone,
Hmm.
it'll test because there were buyers at that area. So
Yeah, see, that's on the zone. See, I would draw this zone as well. This one right here to like that. That would be one of my zones right there. The reason why
why
is
that?
because it wasn't a big candle, but look at the big move that it just kept going, right? It gives us a big move. So that will show us that there's still in this little basing candle, since it's also the opposite color. I could see buyers they have their orders just sitting there. They never got fully filled
Hmm.
since it was just a crazy, it was a crazy pop.
Yeah.
Let me see another one. So the only thing that I don't do is that once I just want to focus on the levels that we're at. So to me, I'll probably just do, maybe so there's 52, 57. I'll just look at maybe like the lowest right here, right? Almost. I just pay attention to 200 points, the 200 point range.
Okay, yeah, you don't go too crazy where,
Yeah,
you don't even think it's gonna get that far.
yeah. I'm not gonna draw these fucking zones all the way right here, right here. Obviously, I just do this one just to show you like how but I wouldn't. I mean, it's good for practice, to have them there and everything, but I just don't want to like the more cleaner you can have your charts, the better. So this is how
Yeah.
I'll probably
Can
just
you
use
go
like, uh-huh. What happened?
no, no, to the graph?
Which one?
Just wanna see if, dale, dale, este 2.
This one?
Would that one be, yeah, that one be a demand zone, right?
Okay,
Because
so
it's
that's the
crazy.
riskier side, the riskier zones that I draw. So I would draw this, but on the more riskier side that I told you I have a safe way of drawing my zones, and then the riskier way of drawing my zones. That would be one
Yeah.
of my risky ways to draw it. The only reason I
Why?
would um the reason why I say that is because notice how it's a one candle, an inside candle after that, so it's not a big
Yeah,
pop, right? So
yeah.
unless this one candle would have been like this one right here, this two, and then it would have gave me all
Mhm.
of this, then yeah, I would have drew it like my regular one.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm starting to catch on what you're basically building based off of your safer zones,
Hmm.
and then you're starting to add like before it wouldn't be it wouldn't be a 2-1-2, it'd be a 2-2 continuation,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Ah, okay. So now it's because it's more riskier because it involves an actionable candle, meaning it's an inside candle
Yeah.
waiting to see if it'll pop up to the upside or pop to the downside.
Exactly. So we didn't know for sure. There was actually buyers in here. There it was just more that's why I call it more risky. Why? Because it buyers they basically hesitated, right? They didn't pop it right away. They
Yeah,
hesitated for a little bit and then they popped it.
yeah. I understand now why you're saying it's riskier because you don't know in what direction the next candle it'll go. Maybe it'll be a fake out to the upside and then it'll just drop to the downside.
Yeah,
Potential.
exactly. That's literally how I'm thinking. All right, so this is all right. So after I do the 12 hour and I don't find nothing good, like I don't find anything else that interests me, I start going into lower time frames. Then that's when I look at the 8 hour. The only reason why I look at the 8 hour is because it's the third of the day.
Yes. So for these time frames, you always want to chart what's in front of you. Don't try to make anything up, correct? Because
Um,
for me,
yeah,
it's it's always that like I have to find something. Like I have to find them. If they're not clear cut, don't put them on there.
yeah. So that I don't know if you noticed when there's times where I put on the chart on the Discord, I put um I think I actually put that not so long ago. I put, let me see, waiting for more development. That's what I
Hmm.
mean by because it's creating a zone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm. Okay, okay. So with this 8 hour, I'm looking at it right now. This 212 continuation to the upside, the last part of the graph, that'll be a risky zone too, no? That's what you call the riskier zone.
Which one?
That doji candle, the indecision,
This one?
that two at the bottom.
To this one?
Now that'll be a risky zone, no?
No. So my risky zones are also. I always like to see the color difference. So if it pops up, I want to see this candle being red. The reason why I want to see it a different color is because there's trapped shorts right there. There's
Hmm.
people waiting to get filled to break even in a way, right? To break even, to sell their shorts for break even at least. They're trying to get out of their position, but they can't. So they're waiting for at least like I said, that break even level. And there's also buyers that are still waiting for it, right? Because they trapped those buyers and it was too quick for them. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
All right. So yeah, that's the reason why I wouldn't draw that one.
because it's not the opposite color, right?
Yeah, it needs to be the opposite color. So this one I would actually draw it right here. This one I would draw it right here.
Mm,
But since it's a big ass zone, I will wait for the hourly just because it's a big ass zone. So when there's
mm.
zones bigger than, I think bigger than like 15 points, I actually wait for the hourly. Like I said, I always like to be less risky.
Okay.
I want probability on my side, right? And that's why I use the strat and I wait for the hourly rev once we touch it. And maybe let's go on the hourly. We touched it. Notice how we touched it right here, but we never had an hourly rev, so I would have not entered yet, right? But knowing it's still a big zone, I would have entered probably right here, right at this one, and could have caught a nice little 7 points, but kind of stupid. But still, I wouldn't have even been in this chop.
Yeah,
This,
that would have been a big ass drawback though. Like that big ass wick.
yeah. So this is actually last week. I didn't even trade last week just because this fucking same reason. So another thing that I have for my rules is if I see a lot of inside candles, so inside, 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 and inside, I get out of the market, bro. I don't trade at all. There's no point in me trading
Yeah,
inside
only
candles.
hour.
Yeah, I don't want to be stuck in chop.
Okay. Is it you if you see it like say we go into the market and by like 7:38 you still see ones,
Yeah,
you get out and come back power hour or what do you do?
yeah.
Or just
So
not trading?
I'll just look at it. I'll just scope it out. So if I see like some shit like this, like one, 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 even 3 bars. Like if I see a lot of 3 bars, like back to back 3 bars with inside bars, yeah, I just stay away, bro. Like that's also another reason that gets me out of trading this.
Mm.
So yeah, but if you could tell on what was that 4 days ago, which was today, we're Mondays. 4 days ago, so Monday. I mean, was that Thursday?
When
Yeah,
Friday, day,
Friday was the 15th, right?
Wednesday.
Yeah, so it
It'd
was
be
Thursday.
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday. So on Thursday,
Okay.
I literally put waiting on more development for zones. I have nothing good so far. That's why I literally like. And then the reason why I said that is because look at this, how we were the whole day, Tuesday and Wednesday. Like on any of this shit, like I didn't want to be in it, bro. Like I can't even find no good zones with this. Not even on the risky way that I would draw it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got so another way, let's take away this. All right, so after I do the 8 hour, I go on the 6 hour. The 6 hour, still not. So I actually drew this one and I actually played it out today, but it was hella risky. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's the one that I actually took the shorts from. The only reason I felt comfortable taking it is because, like I said, I always like to see the indices being alike. So you see this one right here. I go on the 6 hour. The 6 hour did the same thing, right? You can see this, like the both charts.
Yeah.
So that's also like what gives me conviction. So when I see, something like this, like both indices giving me like basically touching the same zone and reacting the same way, then that's when I'll be more interested into it. Like, but again, since these are more risky, because the only reason why I say they're more risky also is because look at these wicks. Even though we continue the drop, right? We continue the drop. We continue the drop. We had wicks, so we had a lot of how do I say it? Like indecision, a lot of buyer is probably not wanting to drop it, not drop it yet. So that's the reason why I drew it, but I wasn't really like too far into it, and then I ended up seeing that NQ also had the same zone, and then that's when I waited on the hourly, the hourly right there, and ES gave me a 212, an actionable signal, and NQ gave me just a 2 rev, and then a continuation on it. That's why I scalped it. That's why I told you my entry would be 5224. But like I said,
Mhm.
I went on the 15 minute and I ended up taking, just this because I didn't really care about it. That's the only reason. And it was only like a 4 point stop loss.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I know you had said you'd entered at the 52.30, and then when I was going up, I was like, "Oh snap!" I wonder how he's doing. And then we still kept in the trade, and I just seen it just dump. I was like, "Damn!"
Yeah, it done pretty
And what?
good. Uh huh.
And that supply zone was the one that kept you in the trade.
Yeah.
Really, why was the reason why you were still in it?
Uh, Wait, what you mean?
That trade that you had gone in at 52.30. What was the main reason why they still kept you in the trade?
Oh, literally just because of the count, just because I didn't really care about it. So it was honestly, it was like a bad trade. It was a
Okay.
bad trade overall. Like that's the reason why I didn't even talk about it or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this
Mm,
this is the only way that I wouldn't even trade this. Like with my rules and everything, I would have not actually traded this. But just because I had that account that I didn't really care about,
yeah.
I just went in and it ended up working. But I didn't even put it on my trade log or nothing, just because you know it wouldn't be any way that I would trade it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Damn,
obviously, the only thing that would have kept me in the trade was backstops, right? You got my first my first fucking stop loss would have been right here. Let me just put it right here. So that would
damn,
have
that
been my
would have
first stop loss, and then after that would have been that one. Notice how even though we kind of touched it, we never broke out of it.
yeah.
So we ended up actually even going two directional downside. So that that kept me in the trade. And after that one, this kept me in the trade. And then again this one, and then again this one, and just keeps going on.
At
Just keep
that point.
going on. This one was inside. Until we ended up getting a 2 to rev, which was right here. That's what got me out of the trade for a nice 8 point gain.
Yeah, those are gonna be fundamental in my trading now. The backstops, because I know you've been telling me, and I've been testing it out. A lot of the times, it just literally by a couple of ticks, they wake me out and they like stop me out, and
Hmm.
I'm like, man. But they stopped me out, but just to see that it continued in my direction, so I was like, oh snap.
Yeah, just use back stops, bro. If you're too scared, like if how do I say it, just get away from the screens, bro. Like just keep putting your stop loss up. Just keep putting your stop loss up, put it up. But that's after you get your TP basically. So once you get your TP
Mm-hmm.
of like let's say your TP is always 10 points or 5 points, right? Right after that, bro, once you get your 5 points and everything, scale out 70 to 80% of your position. So let's say you got 10 contracts, you want to get out, 8 or 7 contracts already,
Mm.
and then that's when you start using those backstops. If you want to be less risky, you can use a 5 minute. But look at this zone right here. You see this zone right here, this little basic candle, and then a big pop. That's well, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is on the 15 minute, but look how well it worked out. It ended up popping us, and let's say you would have taken the 2 to rev with a stop loss, maybe right there. That's only a 4 point stop loss. You want to make it. That's a 3, and to the top already. That's 5 points. So almost a risk to a 101. So I mean, you could have just scalped it.
Mm, definitely. See, but to me, psychologically, looking at that big drop, to me, it would have been like, okay, like we've dropped so much. Like, do you think we'll continue to bleed?
I mean,
Psychologically, I'm saying to
that
myself,
That's where I told you, that once I see this big drop, that's where I start. That's why I'm always telling people, um, I don't wanna fight, I don't wanna catch a falling knife, so I go on the hourly and I wait for an hourly rev. Yes, I'll miss a lot of the, a big chunk of the move, but I'd rather be less risky.
Yeah,
So you see right here, like obviously, higher time frames is always number one.
yeah.
And then, like I said, that's where you start looking at market structure, and if you get a shift, then that's when you start changing your bias. Like, okay, yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah, no, no, definitely. Yeah, for me, man, yeah, that's got to be it, man. Because a lot of the times for me, like it's just being impatient and just trying to, and I'm always catching falling knives because
Yeah,
I miss the trade and I psych myself out. Where it's like, okay, I think I still got the chance, and I get in, and it just goes in the opposite direction. I'm like,
yeah, probably because
but
you want. I'm telling you, like you just want to make that money.
yeah, it is, it is. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I've been showing you what I do. So yeah, that's what it is. Money, and yeah, it's gonna come eventually, but
So
that's not what we
they
be
are you
focusing.
are you understanding like this whole how I draw my zones now?
Yeah, 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 definitely. So for the most part, one, you're looking for the majority of the part is the structure, market structure shift.
Hmm.
See if we have higher highs, higher lows, and then after that, you're gonna be able to see, okay, are we at a demand or supply zone? One, we're going to be able to look at the 1 or 4 hours, right?
Yeah.
1 or 4 hours and be able to look for the basing candles. So if we're dumping, we got to look for an area where we have a basing candle in the opposite color. If it's dumping, we're trying to look for a demand zone where it can bounce off of
Hmm.
and potentially look for a basing candle that's red, correct?
Yeah. Exactly.
Because then and that'll allow you to that shows you that there's been orders that haven't been filled, that it'll then dip down into there and then just bounce up.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I did make it clear enough, so you can understand it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, yeah, definitely. And it's the opposite. If we're at a supply zone, if we're bouncing off the demand and, we're, healthy pullbacks, but we're heading into the supply zone, we're looking for an area or a basing candle that can allow you for you to enter a trade. But also as well, like if we're looking at the Nasdaq at this on the 1 hour, that's where you have your supply zone, but you marked it with the green color with at the green colored candle. Um, or
Yeah. I mean,
if you
you got it,
just
bro. That's literally
yeah,
like.
there you yeah.
So
So
yeah.
if yeah, that supply zone, you use that green color instead of a red colored candle.
Hmm.
So yeah, for the most part, yes. I think that is what made it click, the basing candles and what were basing candles for you, which are indecisions or doji candles or hammers and stuff like that, depending on where in the market we're looking for them.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you got it, bro. Very simple. Um, just because it's kind of getting kind of late. We can always
No, no,
continue
yeah.
this, but I hope that you at least got the gist of it, and you can actually start drawing your own zones now. So if you said that you wanted homework and shit like that, draw me some zones, bro, and send them to me.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, that'll be, and I'm glad that you're reiterating the fact if I got it, I like that, and if you want feedback from like maybe a mentor like myself, a mentee that you're,
Hmm.
mentoring, I like that. I like that you were reiterating the fact that if I got it.